Hey adventurers, Ryan and Cassandra here, and we've gone looking for the Arch Rock Trail here in Joshua Tree, as it isn't listed on the main visitor maps.
As we wrapped up our trip, we needed to explore Barker Dam and experience the petroglyphs found there. Hey adventurers, Ryan and Cassandra here, and we are back from Joshua Tree. So what did you think?
It was an excellent trip. I really appreciated that there were so many diverse hikes that we could do, so that we could, do a hike and then get in the car, drive about 20 or 30 minutes, and then we would do a completely different hike.
And it's nice because a lot of the hikes are shorter, so you can do a lot more throughout the day as well. And they have longer hikes as well. But it's cool because there's like two different deserts that are meeting in whatever section of Joshua Tree, like farther to the south. So when you're up in the north and the western part, you get more of the Joshua trees and the big boulders that you expect, and you get farther south, and that's when you start seeing more of like the Cholla cactus garden type stuff, which we didn't get to explore much south, but I know that there are whatever the plural of oasis is, there are multiple oases.
Oases?
Yeah.
And it was cool that we had that ability to start the day at the Cholla Cactus Garden and then kind of work our way back up the whole park, and just get that different experience each time.
Yeah. And do you have any tips for someone going and visiting Joshua Tree, either camping or just going for the day?
I would say the best tip that I could give is avoid the middle of the day. Obviously, you're going to be in the middle of the desert, and between noon and 3 is probably going to be one of the hottest times of the day. So we took that opportunity to head back to our camp just to relax and kind of wait out the hottest part of the day. It really helps you from exerting yourself too much, or finding yourself in a precarious position without, water or something like that, and getting dehydrated. How about
you? Just know that there is no cell service, and which also means there's no GPS. So you are heavily relying on the maps that they give you, either when you're driving through or if you go to the visitor center, you can pick one up as well. And the maps are really easy to follow. It's just showing the main roads in Joshua Tree, so you just follow that. But if you were only going for like a day, I would highly recommend, if you were looking at the map, there's a section almost like right in the middle, and that's where so many of the like smaller like must see, I guess, that you would see on a list hikes are like Hidden Valley, Hall of Horrors if you were a climber,
Skull Rock.
Yep, Skull Rock. A lot of those are kind of in the same general like stretch of road.
And we got in, I think, about 7 miles over the whole weekend of hiking, and it never felt like it because of just being able to do, the longest hike we did was about 2 miles, and that might have been Ryan's Ranch, just hiking in and hiking back. But other than that, most of them are within the rocks, which is kind of nice because you get that ability to be shaded, which shade in the desert is worth, it's a great place to be because you're out of the direct sunlight. And I would say with the weather that we were experiencing, it would be nice and warm in the sunlight, but then once you get out into the shade, it would be nice and cool. So really made for a really great experience.
Yeah.
Now, I would say, what would you say is your iconic moment from the trip?
I really want to say Hidden Valley because that's kind of like the epitome of Joshua Tree, but I love petroglyphs, so I loved going to Barker Dam. If you do that hike, there's obviously like the dam part that does sometimes fill up. Obviously not when we were there because we were there at the end of the summer season, beginning of fall. But during that hike, there's also this
It's an overhang.
Yeah, there's an overhang, and it has some petroglyphs in there, and of course they've been filled in, so they're not exactly what they were when they were originally created, but it is still so cool to see that. What about you?
I would say, I don't know. I really liked Skull Rock, as well as I think that there was a Hall of Horrors. That one, those two, I liked climbing within the rocks. I'm used to the Anza Borrego Desert where we just have more flat expanses without rock outcroppings. So to have that experience up in the Joshua Tree area was just awesome. It was great to be able to kind of scurry up the rocks, kind of get a sense of what it is to be like a lizard. But it's fun. It wasn't too busy, but Skull Rock is definitely one of the more easily accessible hikes.
Oh yeah, it's right off the road to get to Skull Rock.
So it was kind of cool to see so many diverse people experiencing the same location at the same time in different ways. So that was kind of really cool to see where we're all here to have a great hiking experience. And yeah, I don't know, it felt like what Joshua Tree, the heart of Joshua Tree was like, especially with everybody and all the people around.
What's something that we didn't get to do that you would like to do next time?
I would have to say maybe some of the more outlying hikes, the ones that are away from the heart of the park. There are something north of 30 hikes that you can go on. I mean, that's probably a gross understatement of how many different places you can go in Joshua Tree and have a different experience. So I think more to the outer edges of the Joshua Tree area. How about you?
Yeah, one of the big hikes is Ryan Mountain, and when we went, and still now, I've been having some knee problems, so all of our hikes had to be below 150 foot elevation gain because I just couldn't go up and down steps very well. And obviously a mountain I could not do. It's also a longer hike. I don't remember how long it is. It's one that you definitely want to start in the morning when it's not hot. But to get to see the full view from there would be amazing. And then also to rent a Jeep and be able to do the off-roading trail. That would be cool. There's also some old, we went to Ryan's Ranch, but there's also some other ones that you can do if they're doing tours, which they weren't doing because of COVID.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do. To go camping, and our campground was a very last-minute decision, and I actually loved it. And I picked it because if I can avoid a pit toilet, I'm going to. So it was actually closer to Yucca Valley. It's still within the park technically, but you don't need to pay to get in there. And there were some hikes over by our campsite. And we had cell service, which was kind of cool. But to go in one of the hikes that's in the main part.
I would have to say that while I did appreciate having the campsite outside of the park, I think next time I do want to try and camp within the rocks. And there are different campsites all directly in the park. And I think that would be great to be the launching point for those like longer hikes, because that was one drawback, was for the Choya Cactus Garden, we had to wake up an extra hour early before sunrise so that we can get to the location, which is deep in the heart of the park.
That was the farthest point that we had to go, and of course we wanted to be there by like 6, I think.
Yeah, to catch the sunrise. But I will say it is absolutely worth the lack of sleep. So feel free to put that on your list.
Oh, I thought of one more tip. And it could have been, I don't know, the season. I don't know anything about bugs. Go to the bathroom when you can, because there were a lot of bathrooms that were just covered with like bees.
Yep.
In the park. And we had some close moments of like, I might have to go just somewhere, which I mean,
that's camping.
Yeah, that's camping. But yeah, if you're a bathroom person, there are still pit toilets, but
yes. What we found out were that the bees, because of being in the desert, they're going to be attracted to moisture. And so obviously the bathrooms would provide that. So whenever we would encounter bees, you would want to, make sure you weren't sweating too much, or they think you're a source of water.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't bother us, we didn't bother them, but I wasn't going to try to go into a bathroom that they were inside of. I did, and then I saw that there were a few in there, and I went, nope.
Nope, exactly.
But then there were some that were just covered in bees that I wouldn't have even touched. So.
Right. So, be prepared. Bring some toilet paper.
Be
prepared. Well, with that, thank you so much for being a part of this and watching our videos.
This will be going up the day after Thanksgiving, hopefully. So I hope everyone had a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Yep. And with that, again, I hope you liked the video. Please hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos like this. Give it a like, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye. I only got the last part.